during the second year in the league, Clippers drafted BG, right? Blake Griffin. When did y'all have that we became best friends, like the step brothers moment? Like,
man,
when did that relationship establish?
That's crazy. I would say like right away, man, because I went to Blake's draft workout. I mean, obviously, like everybody in the country knew we were taking.
Right, he going number one. You got to see who this kid
and
is.
I was in LA, and I was like, shit, I'm gonna go to the workout. I got nothing else to do. You know, I got no kids, no girl. I'm here. I'm going. And I think that, you know, going to college for a year and, you know, having that dorm with your teammate experience, kind of like we all lived together after practice. I only had that for a year when most guys have that for, you know, 4 seasons. And it was, I think it was that, man, because my rookie year, it was kind of like, oh, what you doing after practice? You know, it's like, I'm going home. I got kids. I'm going here with my girl. I'm like, I guess I'm gonna go home and play FIFA. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it was just kind of like, I missed that. And then to have another young guy on the team with Eric Gordon, Mike Taylor, and myself, we kind of all kind of became super duper close. And Blake and I became super duper close, obviously. And we were teammates for another 9 years after that. And we did pretty much everything together because it was like we were around the same age. We liked a lot of the same things. And we were as thick as thieves now.
Cause y'all what a year apart?
A year apart, yeah.
So when you like, I got me a little bro now.
Yeah, it was cool, bro. Like we're obviously the same like high school class, but I came out a year before Blake. But it was like league wise, it was like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna come up through my NBA career with this guy. And at that time, we had been thinking like we were gonna be with the Clippers for 20 years. Like that's what our plan was to do. And we pushed each other. You know, Blake works extremely hard. So it was like, okay, I kind of got somebody to push off with right now. Like, okay, he sees me doing this, he's going to try to do more. I see him doing this, and I'm going to try to do more. So that kind of like competition between ourselves was awesome to have. Yeah.
So during that time, Lob City's developed, right? CP's there, you, BG. What time in that area is like most memorable of like, you know, this is just one of the funnest times? Because for a long time, Lob City was like, when you played the Clippers, you knew what you was getting into. These motherfuckers gonna run and watch out. Watch out.
It was fun, man. It was just like, I think at the beginning when we first got Chris, we were kind of like, oh shit, we're excited to dunk. You know what I'm saying? And that's just kind of what it was. It was like, man, we got one of the best passers, if not the best passer of all time, who wants to pass, throwing us the ball whenever. And I remember when CP first got there, he was like throwing the lob like right at the rim. And we was kind of like, damn, bro, like,
let us have some fun.
And he was like, what? I'm putting it where it needs to be. We was like, no, like, throw it like a little bit here, you know, so we can kind of like cock it back going. He was like, oh, okay. So then in practice, he kind of was just throwing it anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, and then he's like, all right, one of y'all go get it. You know, so after then, it was kind of like he knew that he didn't have to place it for us.
Yeah.
So that was fun to kind of be able to get that.
So the Lob City was developed in practice.
Oh yeah, we would just try crazy shit in practice. Like he would just come through and we would do something, and I'd be like, yo, I'm behind you, and he would just didn't look. Before he would look and then have to, but after a while he would just like, oh, I'm just throw it up there. Like one of y'all will come and get it. You know, so that was fun. But I think that we lost to Memphis. After that, it got serious. You know, it was kind of like, okay, well, shit, we can do this. We don't want that feeling again. You know, they had like TA and Marc Gasol and Conley and Zebo. So it was kind of like, shit, we got to be more serious about our craft. And, you know, it can't just be trying to get dunks like in an AAU game or in an All-Star game. We got to be serious about it. And I think that we kind of took our games up to another level after that. So it was cool to kind of see that.
Do you wish you would have trademarked the Lob City name?
Yeah. But at that time, we weren't even thinking about that. You know what I mean? It was kind of like,
having fun.
I'm 20 years old. Let's just rock and roll. You
know because y'all just in a moment.
Yeah, it's just, but yeah, after that, it was kind of like, oh shit, well, we probably lost out on a lot.
You guys had a great rivalry with the Warriors, you know, a little bit before their dynasty run. But there were a lot of moments, for instance, Jermaine O'Neal confronts Blake in the Staples Center tunnel. But when you look back on those games, what would you say was maybe the most tense moment that you guys had while playing the Warriors?
We had a Christmas game against the Warriors that was pretty fun. But I would probably say playoffs. It was either game 6 or 7. Game 6 was when all of the Sterling shit happened. And I remember we like flipped our warm-ups inside out and all that. And before that, it was just such an emotional game that I was like, man, we go either beat their ass by 20 or they go beat us by 20. The game's not going to be close, you know, and we ended up getting smoked that night. But then game 7 at home, we ended up beating them at the end in a pretty close game. But it was just such an emotional time, man, and they were such a great team. And I think they ended up winning it all the next year. So I think that playoff series against them was probably one of the best times that we've had.
You've had some, you know, incredible teammates. When you look at Luka, you look at CP, you look at Jokic. Now you throw Blake into that mix. How special was Blake when you watch him up close?
Blake Griffin is one of the most
talented players. Because I don't think he gets the credit that he deserves.
He doesn't get the credit that he deserves, bro. Like, just the way that his game was able to adapt over the course of his career, I thought was amazing. When he first came in, he was obviously like a highlight reel dunker and playmaker, but then like when injury started to affect him, he was like, oh, you know what? Hey, I can still dunk on your ass,
right?
But I'm gonna work on my 15-footer. I'm gonna work on my 18-footer. I'm gonna work on my 3. I'm working on my ball handling to where I can become a dominant point forward. And like, if Blake was in his prime right now, he would make $500 million. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just the player that he was, man. And I think if Blake wanted to play now, he could still be playing basketball. And like, his work ethic was one of the hardest that I've ever seen in my life. And he was just super duper special, bro. And like, I think when you're able to adapt to different teams, different teammates, different time periods of the game, that's a great trait to have. And he had that.
Yeah. You talk about like guys that just know how to reinvent themselves.
Yeah.
They come out this way. This is what the league know them as.
Yeah.
Then they reinvent themselves and then they extend their careers and they, you know what I mean? Like you look at Al Horford, a guy that reinvented himself and now is a champion. Like you look year 17, like it's crazy.
Because you think about Blake and it was like, okay, he's going to Detroit. All right, they're going to forget about Blake Griffin.
Exactly.
Like, no, he went there and led them to the playoffs. He was an all-star there. He shot the shit out of the ball from 3. Like, he was the leader of that team. And I think that, you know, that definitely gets overlooked. And then even when he came to Brooklyn, he was a great player there. And in Boston last year, he was great there as well. So it was, you know, he did a lot of great things throughout the course of his career.
Do you think he's a good comedian now? Because doesn't he do a lot of
stuff
with comedy now?
He's pretty funny, bro. Like, Blake's always been a funny dude, but it was kind of like once he was like, all right, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to do comedy. I'm going to tell jokes. It was like, oh, shit, like, you know what, like, you could go out there and bomb. Yeah. But it was like, you know, I could also go out there and fucking kill it because half the battle is like getting these people on my side. And then when I go out there, they on my side.
Right.
You know, but like he had that with him, but also like Blake is funny as shit. You know what I mean? So like he had the double whammy, you know? So it's like he's taking this shit to another level.
That shit just came out of like left field though. Like, did you like when he did it, was there ever a conversation like, yo, DJ, I think I'm gonna get into this comedy shit?
Yeah, it was a conversation. I was like, get the fuck out of here. Like we can tell jokes with each other and on the team bus. Like that's great, but like telling jokes in front of people we don't know, like what? And then I remember like maybe his second to last year with the Clippers, he had hosted like a comedy event. And he went up there and told jokes. And I was like, oh shit, he's actually really good at this shit, bro. And it was just, he was super raw, but he was really good. And then like to see him progress and like take it seriously, write jokes down. He's producing comedy movies now and other things. It's kind of cool to see, man. And I'm happy for him. Yeah.
He might be the only NBA player to ever go that route.
Yeah.
Can you think of anybody else? I mean, Shaq
did everything.
Yeah, but like, you know, he's all about it with the shows and all that.
I actually ran into BG down in Cabo.
Oh, really?
Him and Chandler were together not too long ago.
Yeah. We played last week together.
Is Blake pretty good?
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Who won?
I know he can hit that motherfucker mile too.
When you guys have Blake on the show, I'll let Blake tell you guys who won.
Okay. That's fair.
We'll see if we can get him. We can't even get him to sign that.
This is true.
Can we discuss
this shit for PG, please.
I hope this goes viral, BG. I need you. I need you, brother. I need you, please.
BG, pull up to Podcast P, bring about 5 fire-ass jokes, and then the contract signed for my dog. You know which contract we're talking about. Bring it, and then, yeah.
There we go.
Perfect.
Appreciate that.
Prize Picks is America's #1 fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. Get in on the daily action with your friends and become a part of the Prize Picks community today. With Prize Picks, you can turn $10 into $1,000 in a single game watching your favorite sports this summer. You can make a Prize Picks lineup in as little as 60 seconds. You just need to pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and you're locked in. So download the app today and use code PODCASTP for a first deposit match up to $100. I repeat, download the app today and use code PODCASTP for a first deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy.